Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a complete masterclass on transforming Claude from a generic chatbot into an active, proactive coworker using its massive new 2026 features. If you've been using AI just to answer simple questions, well, you're about to see a whole new world of productivity open up.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with shifting from chatbot to coworker. Explore the Claude 2026 arsenal, define the context rule, set up your workspace, unlock the power of iteration, and finally build your expert-level ecosystem. Let's get right into it. Section 1. From chatbot to coworker. This is really a massive paradigm shift. And honestly, it's the biggest mental leap you need to make to get true value out of AI right now. Look, we have to stop treating Claude like a vending machine. You know the drill. You drop in a vague prompt and just expect a perfect output. It leads to massive frustration. Instead, you've got to adopt the coworker mindset. Treat Claude like a brilliant but maybe slightly clueless new hire. To succeed, it needs context about your business, specific objectives, and active feedback. When you give it those three things, the results literally go from generic to extraordinary. Moving on to Section 2. The Claude 2026 arsenal. Let's look at the actual technical features that make this whole coworker mindset possible. Claude has officially evolved from a simple chat window into a full-blown work platform. Just look at this arsenal. We now have automatic memory that actually remembers your preferences across conversations. There are skills, which are basically reusable workflows for your recurring tasks. We have projects, acting as dedicated workspaces with their own files, so you're never starting from a blank page. Plus, there's Claude in Chrome for browser automation and Dispatch, letting you fling tasks from your phone straight to your desktop. But the absolute game changer for 2026 is a feature called Cowork. This introduces an agentic mode. Basically, Claude acts as an independent agent. You stop chatting and you start delegating. Operating securely right there on your desktop, you can point it to a folder and say, read these CSV files, combine them, and write up a summary. And it just does the work autonomously while you go grab a coffee. How wild is that? Section 3, the context rule. So how do we effectively communicate with this crazy powerful new digital coworker? It comes down to one core philosophy, and you should probably make this your mantra. Claude is a thinker, not a search engine. The quality of its thoughts depends entirely on the information you feed it. Think about it. If you ask a top-tier human consultant for a generic marketing strategy, you're going to get a generic strategy. But if you tell them your exact revenue, your employee count, and your specific bottlenecks, you get gold. Claude works exactly the same way. So the crucial point here is implementing this complete context formula every single time you start a major task. You have to clearly define the situation, the objective, the audience, the tone, the constraints, the format, and ideally give it an example. If you want an extraordinary result, let's say a perfectly toned collection email for a high-end flower company, you have to use this formula. You tell it, we are a premium florist. Our objective is to recover payment from a corporate client without ruining the relationship. The tone needs to be firm but elegant and keep the format under 150 words. That is exactly how you get a draft you can instantly use. All right, Section 4, setting up your workspace. With the proper mindset and communication strategy in place, let's get into the mechanics of configuring your digital office. Following these steps is absolutely crucial. You have to invest a little time in your first few sessions to actually train Claude. Step 1, dive into your user preferences and specify exactly how you like to be spoken to. Step 2, turn on memory so it retains all of this. Step 3, set up dedicated projects for different areas of your life or business and load them up with your brand guidelines and historical data. Trust me, this upfront investment pays off massively because every future chat in that project starts with your brand rules and goals already hardwired in. And as part of that setup, right before you hand off a task, you need to assign it an identity. Using this specific role formula completely changes the depth and vocabulary of the output. You are X with expertise in Y. Your specialty is Z. Telling Claude to act as a skeptical interim CFO looking for inefficiencies versus a supportive senior creative director completely changes how it analyzes your work. You can even run a document through 3 different roles sequentially to get a bulletproof 360-degree review. Next up is Section 5, the power of iteration. Because getting things set up is really just the starting line. The real magic happens during the back and forth execution. Never expect perfection on the first try. I mean, not even a human coworker gets it right on draft 1. So you need to use these specific iteration patterns to refine the work. If the output is way too dense, just say, explain it like I'm 10. If it's a bit bland, tell it, give it more punch. Want to check your blind spots? Ask, what is this missing? Treat it exactly like you're sitting in a room collaborating and reviewing a draft with a colleague. And while you're iterating, keep in mind that text isn't your only output anymore. You can leverage a feature called artifacts. If you paste in a bunch of raw sales data, don't just ask for a written summary. Ask Claude to spin up an interactive visual dashboard with bar charts and trend lines right there in the chat window. It can even build functional web prototypes or flowcharts on the fly. It's incredibly powerful. Let's actually look at a practical example of how all of this comes together. Imagine building a Mother's Day campaign. Step 1, you create the project and upload your budget and brand guide. Step 2, you ask your creative director persona to pitch 7 concepts and you iterate to pick the winner. Step 3, Claude writes the email and social copy. Step 4, you switch its role to a media planner to distribute the budget and output a 10-slide presentation for leadership. By following this workflow, you've just built a complete brand-aligned campaign in under an hour.
Which brings us to Section 6, your expert-level ecosystem. Let's talk about scaling this unbelievable productivity across your entire day. The goal here is to progressively climb these 3 levels. Most folks are honestly stuck at level 1, the quick assistance stage, using Claude for one-off translations or a quick summary. Level 2 is the active collaborator, where you're diving into projects in memory daily. But level 3, this is where you truly want to be, the integrated system. This is where Claude is hooked directly into your Google Drive, your Slack, and your Chrome browser, autonomously executing recurring workflows. To operate at that elite level 3, power users rely on a few brilliant best practices. First, they use few-shot prompting, which just means giving Claude a couple of examples of exactly what they want. They also use XML tags to structure really long, complex prompts so the AI doesn't lose the plot. They explicitly ask Claude to play devil's advocate to expose the weakest links in their strategies. And crucially, they give Claude permission to say, I don't know. Giving it that out drastically reduces those weird AI hallucinations. Now, obviously, building out this ecosystem depends on your access. You can absolutely start exploring on the free tier, which is great because it still gives you projects and memory. But if you're serious about integrating this as a daily coworker, the $20 Pro plan is really the recommended baseline. That unlocks the Cow agentic mode and gives you much heavier usage limits. And then if you're a true power user automating massive organizational workflows, you can scale right up to the Max, Team, or Enterprise plans. These tools are more capable today than ever before. But the ultimate unlock isn't the software, it's your mindset. Claude learns from you, but only if you take the time to teach it. So I'll leave you with this question to wrap up today's explainer. Are you going to keep treating AI like a glorified search engine, or are you finally ready to hire the smartest coworker you've ever had? The choice is entirely yours.